In 1962, Austin A40s were fitted with a 1098cc BMC A-Series engine. The rules for A40s in our class of the Touring Great Series allow an engine size of up to 1293, beyond the modification limits of the 1098 unit. The answer was to start with the 1275 A-Series that was fitted to MG midgets, the later ones being favoured because of their stronger block. As Ralph Saunders at Pitstop has always built great race engines for our MGB, we handed over the specification and build of our new A40 unit to him. Apart from the capacity of the engine, the only restriction in the regulations was the use of twin SU carbs. So Ralph specified an engine with an impressive parts list that included a forged steel crank, rods and Omega pistons. The cylinder head came from KAD and was modified to their latest performance spec. Machining of the block and balancing the crank was done by Paul Gardias at GES. Ralph did a trial build of the engine, measuring a number of clearances and, when necessary, had some further machining completed by Paul. We lowered the newly built unit into the engine bay that had previously been fitted with the oil system and crankcase breather kit. Inlet and exhaust manifolds came from Maniflow and were based on their standard race spec for an MG midget. Before we fitted the manifolds, we had them treated by Zerkotech with their heat retention coating to help reduce the underbonnet temperature. We fashioned a heat shield to protect the carb from any heat still coming off the exhaust and to deflect hot air coming from the radiator. It also provided a mounting point for the throttle cable. Ralph normally fits a Weber DCOE carburettor to his race engines, but as the regulations call for a more period-style SU carb, he chose us a pair of massive 1 3/4 inch units. Like the manifolds, the exhaust system also came from Maniflow. However, we were somewhat perplexed and were unable to fit all the boxes under the car and still maintain a reasonable ground clearance. Also, the noise level, at 106 decibels, was slightly above track legal. In the end, we chose to fit parts of the Maniflow system together with a standard aluminium race silencer at the rear. Cooling for the engine is handled by an aluminium radiator, built for us by Concept Racing in Rossall Y. When the car's stationary, airflow is provided by a Rivatech fan, mounted as closely as possible to the radiator. Concept also made us a catch tank to our design for the crankcase breather. The flow of oil to the fairly standard 13-row cooler is controlled with a bypass thermostat. With the engine fitted, we took the car down to Ralph's to briefly run it in on the rolling road, before he set up the fueling and ignition timing. After sorting out those cooling airflow problems, power runs showed that it was producing 127 horsepower, which was nicely within our target range of 120 to 135. In the next video, we'll take a look at the fuel system.